keep your eyes open and definitely keep your ears open, because these people around here, they just pretty much telling you straight up at this point.
Yeah, it's not even code anymore.
No, they would tell. This speech is a 6-minute long way to say know your place.
Mm-hmm.
They said get to the serious stuff. All right, I got to say something about this girl, Reagan Escude. It's very telling now how most people love Trump because they did from the very beginning hope that he would put us, even him,
Yeah, especially him,
in our place.
Mm-hmm.
And we all, that's why I said, man, if you somebody who's looking at this wall and you are, especially if you're a black person, if you're looking at this wall and like, boy, I'm glad he's picking on the Mexicans right now. It's only a matter of time.
I would hope that most black people weren't doing that, because we always know we can't say like, oh, it's their turn now. It's like, no, it's always our turn.
There was some. If they weren't, look, it might not be like they didn't like brown people, but they were just kind of like, well, I'm glad the heat's on them and they ain't messing with me. You're probably wondering, what is it about this chick? And if you have looked at any bit of news today, shit, if you had pancakes today, you probably don't know what this girl did. But there was a rally in Arizona, and Trump brought on this girl right here. And her speech is so ignorant. I mean, dangerously ignorant, racist and ignorant. And to see Trump just embrace it, and at this point declare that there's going to be a war now. I'm declaring war against these protesters, all these people who are going against American heritage, all you people tearing down statues. We're not taking it from you anymore. And this girl right here pretty much summed it up for him. Now, a lot of this it centers on, and you'll find out why if you don't know, Aunt Jemima pancakes. Aunt Jemima pancakes, a pancake syrup, a pancake mix, anything that had that happy mammy on there. Her words were, not only don't leave it alone, but you guys should be thankful for your mammy, for your Aunt Jemima, because she truly represents, for people of color, the American dream. What?
For inviting me up here to tell of my experience with cancel culture. And I talked about how disappointed I am in the church's reaction to the Black Lives Matter movement.
Now, when she's talking about cancel culture, she's been embraced by Trump and Fox News and everyone, Glenn Beck, because she got fired for putting out, I believe, a tweet. She's working at an insurance agent. She'll tell you about it. She got fired, and so everybody took this. Who's on her side is saying that you're going against her freedom of speech. Is she not allowed to have her opinion? And the job is just kind of like, no, we just don't want to deal with your homophobic and racist bullshit. And we don't want you representing us. But of course, they took it as she's having her freedom of speech suppressed.
Racism is a problem in the heart. It is a sin problem that cannot be resolved by any law, protest, or march.
Well, it can't be resolved, but it's damn sure can get shit done.
Yeah, it can be mitigated. It could allow that sin that's in your heart to not negatively affect other people.
Yeah, tell that to the civil rights marchers who had to go out there and not only march, but get their ass whooped to just get decent, to be treated humanely.
Yeah, she's just saying, hey, y'all, we're just gonna be racist. Leave us alone. We can't help it. You can't fix it. So just let us do our thing.
These are some of the worst people, man. They try to bring God into justify and validate their racism. Racism is a sin.
God made us racist.
Yeah. Well, if racism is a sin, then you are definitely sinning. You're going straight to hell because you love a big scoop of racism. And you should hear what she's saying right now.
Due to the crazy reaction from the leftist mob, my employer told me that they came to the conclusion that they needed to terminate my employment.
I can probably tell you that it wasn't from this so-called mob of people. And by the way, if she was getting death threats, I know some people have even accused me of being weak. I don't appreciate death threats either. No. I don't think death threats get anything solved. But I can tell you it wasn't because some mob out there. Probably your job just kind of like, we don't want your dumb ass working here. You don't represent this company well.
You are a liability. Yeah, you don't represent us.
Yeah. All these people talking about their freedoms. You don't understand. At a workplace, it's a private company. They have the right to fire people based on how you as an employee represents them.
And she probably supports a right to workplaces that can fire at will.
Yeah. Unless it's her.
Losing my job is a small price to pay when God's name is being glorified.
And that's why you're at a Trump rally.
Yeah.
This man who give a less about God. You're stupid if you think Trump gives a at all about God. That man, if he could use God, which he is.
Yeah, for him, God is a tool.
Yeah, he's using God like he uses everybody else. You're idiot, man. And stop using God to justify your personal homophobic and racist beliefs. That shit pisses me off, man. You are not a person of God if you are doing that. Everybody got their own version of God. And everybody think God on their side. I can tell you right now, God's looking down like, you know what? Oh, y'all, I'm done.
I know. Keep my name out of your mouth.
Shit, I ain't, you know what? I ain't on none of y'all sides right now.
I share this story with you because what happened to me is just a small example of something that's happening on a much larger scale in our nation. Aunt Jemima was canceled.
You already know this is going bad.
You're like, you know that she's fictional, right?
You know the moment this bitch right there, everything she said and looking like she does, the moment Aunt Jemima came out, it was like, this is not going to be good. I don't know what she's thinking right now. I don't know how she's gonna spin this, but hey, I can tell you, if Aunt Jemima's coming out of her mouth, the shit's gonna be racist, man. No matter how good her intentions are.
Nancy Green, she was a freed slave who went on to be the face of the pancake syrup that we love and have in our pantries today. She fought for equality.
Yeah, Aunt Jemima's in the mix. No pun intended. She's in the. It really was. Aunt Jemima's in the equation here, but you totally missed the point. Why? Let me pull this back a little bit. Let me pull this back a little bit so y'all can hear this.
She fought for equality, and now the leftist mob is trying to erase her legacy. If our biggest concern is a bottle of pancake syrup.
You know, she thought she was putting some good shit down. She rehearsed that shit. That closing line right there. If our biggest concern is a bottle of pancake syrup, ooh, that shit's gonna rock the house.
We're seeing a call for statues of Jesus Christ to be torn down.
Not happening.
Yeah, not a real thing.
Now, I'm a little confused here because last week Jesus was a social justice warrior, and this week he's the face of white supremacy.
Not said. I didn't hear that shit at all.
And Jimmy Kimmel has been calling our president racist for years, and it turns out he's the racist.
Because our president is, and Jimmy Kimmel f***ed up, but he ain't no racist. He might be, but I don't know. But he hasn't shown it like yo ass is doing right now.
Yeah.
If he's a racist, he's covered that shit up much better than your stupid ass is doing right now.
There's governors that are getting away with wearing blackface. That's just sliding under the radar. So I want to encourage you all to...
You're right about that. Yeah, you got. I'll give you that one.
Stand firm in your beliefs. So blessed to have a president who stands on the front lines to fight for our God-given American freedoms.
You Trump toy. You stupid ass.
She was enslaved and beaten and raped and had her family ripped from her. But in the end, she got to be on the pancake box. So it's kind of all worth it.
What a hero, boy. She took it for the team. Nancy Green.
Do not apologize to the mob. And thank you, President Trump, for never apologizing to the mob.
Man, he about to swoop down her ass. Well, he was zeroed in. Like,
yeah, I'm going to get some of that later.
The next one. Jesus. Anybody who listen to this dumb bitch right here, I don't give a fuck if you think I'm being mean. If you think I should be, Corey, be more tactful than that. No, fuck this bitch right here. And if there's one thing that's worse than a racist, is a dumb racist. Because that means not only are you racist, but you're spreading hatred and ignorance, together is a very dangerous thing.
Well, it's more dangerous because she thinks she's smart.
Yeah. No. This bitch right here. And I don't give a fuck if you think I'm being sexist or if you think I'm just being lazy with my language. No, because apparently, that's what happens when you're nice about things. That's what happens when you try to sit up here and talk like you have some sense. People don't listen to you. If I was to sit up here and say, Martin, I feel for this young lady. She is very misinformed. She is very ignorant, and she doesn't understand what she's saying. Perhaps just trying to communicate with her and talk to her about history would help her. No.
I don't know, Corey. I think she's just dumb.
No, I think she's a dumb fucking bitch. Now you hear me. Because the shit that she's saying is extremely dangerous. And if you listen to this dumb shit, then that means that you're part of the problem. Let me tell you guys what's wrong here, man. For anyone who does not understand why Aunt Jemima, Aunt Jemima is a problem, then either you are ignorant to the point where we can talk. I mean to say that bad in a bad way. I'm not trying to call you names. You're ignorant and you need to be told why, which is what I'm trying to do right now. Or you just don't give a fuck and you really want people to stay in their place. You don't like change to the point you don't care if people have to look at some shit that reminds them of how dehumanized they were at one time. Let me fucking explain to you what the problem is here. It's not just about, why is everybody worried about syrup? It's just pancake mix. Jesus Christ, you guys. Get on with it. Get over it. Let me explain to you, man.
Preach, brother.
I will. The mammy, which is what Aunt Jemima is, that is a mammy. I don't give a fuck if she slimmed down and got a perm. That it has its origins in the mammy stereotype, and that is one of the most insidious stereotypes that we have. Everybody thinks the coon and the jigaboo and all those things out there, the Uncle Toms. No, man. Uncle Tom is up there. Uncle Remus is up there. But the thing with the mammy is one of the most insidious ones we have because the mammy encompasses this whole image of the happy slave.
Yeah.
This whole thing of the slave that was so happy that in this case, she turned her life over to her owners, her masters, the people that she worked for, often over her own family. Eager to please, happy for the opportunity, as you see right here. And if there was some, which is false, man. That's why I hate this fucking movie so much, because they're always trying to pass off this image of the mammy as being somebody that was happy to be in their position. That's why I hate this film, Gone with the Wind. Showed you this before. This whole thing with Scarlett and her mammy. And by the way, like we said, this actress, Hattie McDaniel, couldn't even come in to the front of the theater to get her shit. They treated her like she was a real mammy.
Just hold on. You can't show your bosom for 3 o'clock.
All she happened just looking after her with every step. The sad fact with the mammy and the reason why this is so bad is because with this image of her trying to be happy, happy to serve. Being a mammy was a demeaning existence.
Sure.
If there was any happiness out of it, it was out of just ignorance. Or, hey, I'm better than those people out in the field.
Yeah, I'm not getting beat currently.
Yeah, I'm in a better position than these people out in the field.
It's at best Stockholm Syndrome.
Yep, that is true. That is true. The mammy was asked to put the owner, the master, the person she worked for, because
the kids.
The kid, every part of the family was meant to have priority over her own family. I can't even show you some of the shit but you can find online, even to the point of like neglecting her children to breastfeed their kids. And a lot of that was done because, that was their, at the time their job, but all this shit was done to just also show power over somebody else. Slavery is like rape, man. It's not always about the work. It's not always about trying to get help. It's about power over people. I told you this other day, almost 30 years ago, I made a video in college as to why this shit has to go. That Uncle Ben's and that cream of wheat mother, all that shit has to go. And it ain't about, is it going to make a difference if it leaves or not? The sad history with Aunt Jemima is that they've exploited this woman and kept her being a stereotype. Nancy Green, man, former slave from Kentucky, hired to be the spokesperson for Aunt Jemima to sell the image of the happy slave.
Yeah.
She practically did minstrel shows at trade shows because she was saying about how great the South was. And when they would do different trade shows around town, the whole catchphrase was, "I's coming to town, honey." Meanwhile, this woman got, you talk about, okay, here's where this thing is about the American dream. This thing that this stupid ass right here is talking about. This was her American dream. She didn't get shit for those ads right there, for that depiction of her. She went back to be a servant for the rest of her life and died so poor, she couldn't even get a headstone on her grave. Do your research. And if you don't choose to do that research, if you ignore all the things that somebody tells you on that, then you are a racist because you want the narrative that you want to keep other people down. That's why this bitch is racist, because she's smart enough to know, but chooses not to.
Yeah.
Yet people like this fucking stupid ass right here, they defend that history because that's what they want to believe.
Sure. It works for them.
Yeah.
It's convenient for them. Everything works out in their favor.
The image of the happy slave, it's an insidious image, man, because it's a lie. Whether it's the Mammy, Uncle Ben's, Uncle Ruckus, Uncle Remus, all those motherfuckers, man. This image of the happy slave is terrible. It's harmful because it's people who want to lie to themselves. Anything to either ease the guilt of history or to justify the villainy of history. Mm-hmm. If what I'm telling you right now, you look back and you're still thinking, oh, what are you complaining about? That's in the past. Then you don't understand. And if you don't understand, if you choose not to understand, then you're part of the goddamn problem. This is why Reagan Escude, like I told you, it's a form of empowerment, man. As long as you keep that image there, you keep people feeling empowered one way or another. That's why Reagan Escude, man. That's why she's trying to tell you that this is the American dream. Because it's not our American dream, it's their American dream. Make America great again. Sure. We know what that means. Tell me if this looks like the American dream to you. Does she look like she's happy? What this girl is telling you, and this is why I have to bring it up. I'd be irresponsible if I didn't use this platform to point out to how this shit is looking like Nazi rallies now.
It is.
To where they're just blatantly putting this shit out there. Got to say something, y'all. This is dangerous. Because she just put the message out there, fully endorsed by the leader of this country. She just said that what she's saying is that the American dream is what we give you. You understand what I'm saying?
Take it and like it. Be grateful.
Yeah. Notice she's talking about how, marches, they don't end racism. What they don't want is they don't want people out there fighting for their rights. They don't want people out there being loud for whatever reason.
Or uniting.
Yes. That's a great point, man. They don't want people uniting. It could be the most peaceful protest, and they will still find a way to spin it.
No, she's there to say, "Come on, y'all. That's what happened to the racism?
Yeah.
Can't we go back to that? Remember how good that was? You can't beat it. So let's just all go back to that."
What they want is to take what they give us, and after that, they want us to smile and be happy. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of people telling us what we should accept and what we shouldn't. That's what's going on. Let me ask you a question, y'all, and be honest. Do you really think black people loved all these years? I mean, that pancake syrup is good, I ain't gonna lie, but you really think black people all these years were happy seeing this shit? Or were you just in denial? Because none of us were. We just accepted this shit because
we're not going to do anything.
No one's going to do anything. So you know what? It's they always tried to spin it some kind of way. I played this commercial for y'all the other day. Well, shit, we got black people selling it. They can't be that bad.
You ever think you'd find a light syrup that tasted better than a regular?
There you go, boy. There go bat boy. Racism tastes good. Mammy tastes good. Aunt Jemima. I don't know what y'all was talking about. This racism is delicious. Nobody was in control of these companies of color. Nobody was in control over these brands, even when they were using our images, man. Nobody had control over that shit. So it was no diversity. So you just bent over and took it up the ass. I'm gonna ask you something. After seeing all this shit right here and thinking that black people like seeing this, this is the equivalent of, imagine Jews having to buy a bottle of syrup, and there's a goddamn concentration camp victim on there just happy to be selling you fucking pancake syrup. It's the same goddamn thing. You know, I'm tired of people telling us that we have to accept our images of dehumanization. You know, telling us that, you know, we have to take these images that told us that we were second-class citizens, third-class citizens, that we were not the same, you know, and told to look at those images to be reminded that's where you still need to be. What you saw here, and y'all know this is wrong. More people back in there, I don't know if this is worse or better. At least it's out there, and we know how to fight it directly. But there was a time people would be ashamed to put this kind of rhetoric out there.
Yeah. Not no more.
Not now, man.
Well, Trump brought them all together. He said, hey, hang with me. I'm going to push through.
Yeah.
I'm going to be your battering ram.
Shit, imagine I'll do you one even better. Imagine that you bought, you know, you got a box of schnitzel, and there's fucking concentration camp victims on there just smiling and shit. Because that's what they did with Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben was somebody that grew rice. He wasn't really a slave or anything, but somebody that grew great rice, and they took his image. You didn't get shit.
No.
This shit is not funny anymore. You know, I mean, it's just scary. They putting it out there. It's a rally going on.
Well, that's the thing, because there is that, like, all right, there's going to be white people who hate us and they can think what they want. I don't care. I'm going to be me. But these people are in power, and when you look at it that way, then you can't afford to just be like, well, I don't care, because it's affecting you.
Yeah. And I'm sorry if this is making people upset. I didn't come here for this. Off. I don't care. You need to see, because this is what they don't want you to see. They don't want you. They want you to look at this shit. They want you to look at Mammy on a bottle. They want you to look at somebody who's grinning and shucking and jiving for, you know, the people they want you to do. They want you to be for. They don't want to see people who look like us sitting up here talking strong shit like this. Yeah, you know, I'm just telling you, I hear, makes me so proud when there's young people out there who listen to us, especially these young guys of color out there, and they always say, man, I don't get to see this shit. Mm-hmm. Keep your eyes open and definitely keep your ears open, because these people around here, they just pretty much telling you straight up at this point.
Yeah, it's not even code anymore.
No, they were this speech is a 6-minute long way to say, know your place. Mm-hmm. Woman died penniless, no gravestone, served the rest of her life out in servitude. Probably I'm sure she didn't enjoy it. And then this bitch gonna sit up here and lie through her teeth and say, you look up, that's the American dream. Okay, then you know what, bitch, you do it. Let's put your ass in rags and have you serve everybody all day. And let's have you die poor. And when you die, let's have nobody know your name, because ain't not even a rock there to say your name. If it's the American dream, how come y'all ain't doing it? How come y'all don't want it? But do not be fooled. It was a time to be nice and be like, well, you know, don't jump to conclusions and say that these people are like this and like that. No, man, the racism is out there.
Yep.
It is out there.
Unmistakable.
And yeah.
If you don't see it, it's because you don't want to see it. You're working hard to not see it.
I'll just close this one thing right here. This is one thing, like I said, I'm really upset about this. Just think about this. What is the image that you think describes you worse, man? I mean, anything. Is it your high school picture where you're a pimply teenager with braces, with glasses, you look crazy? Anything that is an embarrassment, anything that makes you feel low. Now imagine somebody took that and slapped that on fucking boxes and bottles and put it all out there, and you had to look at that shit all the time. Imagine if you're a woman and there's a guy who has a history of raping, a serial rapist who never had to pay for his crimes, and then you got to go to the grocery store and see that all the time. Would you like that? And if you're saying yes, you're a goddamn liar, man. If you don't want to see that, now imagine how it feels for somebody to sit up there and watch something where it always has to be, you have to be reminded all the time. Not only is this something where it shows your worst parts of history, shows you as being somebody who was lower than other people in society. But on top of that, we celebrate it. There are people who still go to schools with names of people who celebrate slavery. So now imagine, if you can't understand how people feel from that, then you're either psychotic, you're a sociopath, or you just don't give a f. Got anything to add to that, man?
No, you covered it.
You understand why I brought this up?
I
I'm
do,
not on
I
some.
do.
I'm not on some soapbox, man. It's like
No, I know.
This
well,
fucking,
especially considering the thing you made 30 years ago about this subject to begin with. It's good to get that information out there about Maggie Green. Is that her name?
Nancy Green.
Nancy Green.